Why is it that time and again we see the abortion industry and their political cronies so willing and sometimes eager to compromise the health and safety of the very women they claim to serve in the name of reproductive health care? Because pro-abortion ideology rots the brain. It's an upside-down kingdom that attacks the first and most important of all rights, the right to life. The very premise in the ideology of the pro-abortion movement is that we do not have a fundamental or intrinsic right to life. It attacks the most important and foundational of all rights. However, it doesn't just stop there, does it? It doesn't just attack the idea of the right to life. It turns that right on its head and says that actually the most sacred of rights is the right to choose. Choose what? Choose to violate the right to life. Choose to abuse the idea of the right to life. Choose to kill an innocent human being without proper justification. It calls vice virtue and attacks those who hold to timeless American virtues, such as protecting the most weak and defenseless members of our society. But when you fail to comprehend and embrace the very right that undergirds all other rights, you will likely get nearly every other moral issue wrong. If you can't get that one, the right to life, then you won't get liberty, you won't get the pursuit of happiness, and you won't get any other right, at least that you would protect in applying to all people. If you don't believe that human beings have intrinsic dignity and value from the moment they're human beings, then the idea of a right to life is a fantasy. And if that is a fantasy, then what could be wrong in killing those human beings in the womb and willingly endangering the life and health of their mothers? What could be wrong with that? From a philosophical perspective, you've denied the very right that all other rights are built upon. Violate that one, and you can violate all of them. If you deny the most fundamental human right, then all other rights are up for grabs. And if you build your entire ideology around the belief that the right to life is a fantasy, then endangering the lives of women to increase your sale of abortions is hardly problematic. In fact, it's morally justified. Because without a right to life, we're simply playing Darwinian chess, where the strong survive and thrive by abusing and killing others. That's what Ralph Northam is doing. That's what Jamie Lee Curtis is doing. That's what Planned Parenthood is doing. In each of their cases, by removing the very types of health procedures in place to protect women in the state of Virginia before they get an abortion, to protect the lives of pregnant women before they take the abortion pill, or if they do, ensuring that they have good health care in place in case they're wounded. These individuals are willing to compromise the right to health, the right to liberty, the right to informed consent in order to increase their sale of abortions. Why? Because they've already violated and abused the first right upon which all of those other rights are built. If you can't get the right to life right, you're going to get all of the rest of them wrong. And if you base your entire ideology around the denial and abuse of the right to life, you will eventually self-delude yourself into believing that what you're doing is actually virtuous, holy, and sacred, when in reality, you've destroyed your ability to call anything wrong in the first place. You've destroyed your ability to critique those who say that you're wrong because you've denied the idea of objective truth and a right to life. This is why pro-abortion ideology rots the brain, because it attacks the first and most important of all rights and principles. And once you do that, the rest of them all come crumbling down. And you can abuse others in the name of virtue and in the name of healthcare, because you have now built a new ideology and a new sense of right, where ironically you sit on the throne and the abuse of others ends up benefiting you financially. That's what the abortion industry is, and that's what they do.